Greetings from New York, everyone. I'm here on Halloween Day in New York City, talking to you live, just to give you a little life update, especially about like living at home and everything. I just finished the best butternut squash soup from Solid State Coffee, and they do have the best pumpkin spice latte. So many places make it, but they make all of their stuff in-house, and it's not sweet, and it's not gonna feel like you're biting into like a sugar packet. Anywho, I'm reporting to you live. And yes, still living at home. I am visiting my friend here in New York City. It's been a lovely week being in the city I want to be in. And look at this, the sun is like, oh, well, I can't show it to you, but like the sun is coming through the curtains and the trees outside are rustling in the wind. And I've been like going out every single night, getting home at like midnight because I've been a good girl, not any later because I'm getting old, and this trip I want to fully be here and not waste my time getting bad sleep. But no, it's been a lot of fun, and I gotta say something. I've really hesitated on making a lot of, living with parents videos because I don't want to be known as that. I just shared what was ever on my heart and what was on my brain, what's, what I'm currently going through, and a lot of people resonated with that because a lot of people are living at home, but I don't want to be known as that forever because I'm trying to get out of that situation. Anywho, if that's you, I just want to give you a little insight to what's going on currently. So I am looking at moving out in like early 2026. I want to say January, but it all depends on if this housing thing goes right. Even being outside of my home and away from, family, or just more so just being by myself, life feels so much more electric. It feels so much more rewarding and real. It just seems right, and I can be fully myself, which, after a year of living at home, it's been great for many reasons, and everyone in the comments loves to remind me of like all the benefits of living at home. That's true. There is a balance. There is a yin and yang to it. And I think I'm at the point where I just need to be living by myself. That's the next stage of life. And I will rise to any challenge that comes that way. Because here's the thing, right? After a while living at home, if you're like me, it can be very comfortable. And you can be kind of scared of looking at the outside world, especially with all the news, man, right? And all the news about the economy and the stock market and this, that, and the other. And you can literally get a heart attack by having the TV on all the time. And I gotta tell you what, that is what really has been like holding me back. It's less of like what's happening in my life, but just like the fear mongering to myself internally. It's like, what if I leave and then I have to come back and I just wasted all that money on moving and first and last deposit, and what if I don't get my deposit back? When in actuality, it wouldn't be a bad thing if I just thought about all the positives. And I love to preach about positive thinking here, and I do that, but it seems like I do that in every other aspect of life rather than money. And that's one lesson I've learned while being here in New York, because, it is worth diving into why you think the way that you do about money and like your relationship with money. It can seem like such a small thing, right? It can be like, oh, well, whatever, I'll just think better about money. There, boom, solved. But like once you realize or go into the journey of figuring out why you think the way you do, you realize a lot of it's faulty, at least for me. And you realize that you're really doing it to yourself, and there's no one forcing you to think that way. It's just what you know and what you're comfortable with, and it's just like a pre-programming. So in that, it's just easy to repeat the cycle of thinking very small about money. For example, you can go on the streets in New York and see these really expensive places, right? High rise, super fancy, even the brownstones, like imagine yourself living there. Whenever I would walk down, Upper West Side or this Lower West Side by myself, I used to have this narrative in my head of like, oh my gosh, I could never live there. That's like another lifetime. That's like someone completely out of my orbit. But in actuality, if X, Y, and Z happens, or like if I was born another way, or maybe I could befriend people and like, I don't even know, get into the circle that way, or there are ways of like getting those things. It's not unnatural. It just hasn't happened yet. It's not like a oh, that's not for me. It's just like, well, you didn't do the things in order to get there, but it can be done. So switching around the conversation in your head like that. Also, like restaurants. Like, I would pass by these really beautiful restaurants, and it's like totally my style, and I want to spend time there. But instead of like diving into the fantasy of like getting a table and eating there, I immediately stop myself and I'm like, whoa, I can't afford that. Don't daydream. Keep walking. Keep walking, broke girl. You can't afford that. When in actuality, I could go in there and get a full dinner, and I could afford it. Now, would it be a big chunk of my savings? Yeah, but I could afford it, and like, you know, if I wanted to, I could, and then like I could also make that money back. It's not impossible to ever get money ever again. So it's just been interesting because for the longest time I've been doing this money journey in my head alone at home, and you can only go so far with that, right? But then being in New York where there's a very obvious wealth gap and like wealth is just in your face all the gosh darn time when you're out, you were able to like have bigger conversations and real conversations and face your money thoughts in real time because it's like in the 3D, it's right there. So that's been interesting. Let me know if you have any thoughts about that or like are going through the same thing, because it's been interesting because I've been here like on and off since 2019, and it's great coming back every single time, not only having these conversations, but also like I can afford more. I can like get a dinner and lunch and breakfast out without thinking about it, without it taking too much of a mental burden on myself, because I can afford it. So that's been a nice little, you know, kind of evidence for myself that I am in the right direction, even though it's easy to look around and be like, whoa, what am I doing with my life? It's funny. Also, on the topic of moving out, I do realize, and of course my friends tell me forever, right? It's just something about taking the leap and the net appears, which some people say, well, that's an awful way to live, but also like, how many times has that happened to people? How many times have people jumped and the net shows itself and they fall into the net? Or things just like work out because they were brave enough to go. I've held myself back all my life in this aspect, but really ever since the pandemic, because I thought once I get a secure job, then I can look at apartments. No, it's, I'm gonna wait forever? Or like, whoa, knocking you guys around, sorry about that. The sun's out. This is beautiful. This is what I want. This is what I will get. A nice apartment with huge windows and trees outside. It's on my vision board. Anywho, this conversation keeps coming up again and again about like, you just gotta move out, you just gotta move out. And for the longest time, I'm kind of like, well, that's silly, I can't do that yet. But now I realize, especially because I've been spending the money I have been and been in a better mind space about it. For example, like I went into a tizzy because I had to drop $4,000, $2K on fixing my car, and another $2K on new Apple products because, you know, I had the Apple 11 phone. I'm fine with it. I would have had that till my grave, but it started acting weird and typing weird things, and then like the screen completely freezes until it dies, and then I have to charge it again, and then it's fine. And I'm like, I can't do this if I'm traveling, and I'm not gonna be stuck in this situation. Also, my laptop, the battery's fried because I left the charger in the battery overnight for years, and now the battery can't work unless it's plugged in. So I had to get a new laptop. Lesson learned from that, don't do that. And when I spent that money, I was like, oh my gosh, I missed out so much, and now I have to rebuild from the XYZ and all this stuff. And now I'm here and I'm dropping like it's nothing. And I don't feel bad about it, which, whoa, this is not financial advice in any way. I'm just realizing and communicating how my emotions towards money is kind of like, is weird. I don't think it's right and wrong is the right type of conversation. It's more like, it's interesting when I justify it rather than like seeing it as a sunken cost rather than like a living cost. I don't know where that's going, but being in New York and talking to all my friends about stuff like this is just turning my wheels, and I feel less shame around like living at home and more just like, it's time. I feel like it's time, and when you know, just like the great prophet Lana Del Rey once said. But it is scary, and I could see a world where I do just live at home while I'm in Florida and not make the move to St. Petersburg but also I can see a world that I do make the move to St. Petersburg and a lot of things just start rolling. Now, do I want to live in St. Pete all my life? No. But I have to stay in Florida for my gigs, and there could be a world where I do all the gigging in Florida and live in St. Pete, and I think that would be great. Because I could be around young people, it's a walkable city, or it's more walkable than Fort Myers, and it would force me to live on my own. I wouldn't furnish the whole place, obviously, but I feel like there's a very good outcome from just going and trying and putting myself out there and going, hey world, I'm ready to like live life and not live in this scarcity and scaredy mindset. But I guess I would still be scared. But I also do feel, I have this intuition that like, this is gonna sound so weird, guys, that money is coming my way. Like I do feel like things are gonna get better and I can actually use the skill set I have to help people more. It's just my skills and the people who need my skills aren't finding each other. And once this happens, the rest is history. It'll be great. But until then, we're here. Still making money off of this and TikTok and gigging and graphic design work. But again, it's not enough to move out and live comfortably. I do have a good little acorn gathering nest thing that I could do a few good months of searching and trying to find other ways of making money, but who's to say? But I think that's the move. Is it smart? I don't know, but I just don't want to spend all my time being like, I don't want to be here. Oh, I don't want to be here. And then have like 1 or 2 good days where I'm like, oh, actually it's fine. Actually it's fine. I don't have to move out. And then like the rest of the week is like, oh my gosh, I gotta go. There is just sometimes I say to myself, one day. Stuff happens around the house and I just mutter to myself, one day. As in like, one day this will be a memory. This is nothing against, this is like not anything personal. Like, it would be so great to live with my parents forever. I have no problems living with them. It's just, it is time to fly. Those little chicks in the nest don't stay in the nest all their life, and neither should we. But I don't even know. This could be the start of something magical and fun and what needs to happen, like, you know, for life purposes. Or it could be another lesson and come back home. But I don't really see that happening. I think once I'm out, I'm out. And that's the way it's going to be. Because it's that way for so many people. It's just interesting believing this type of stuff for other people, and then when it comes to believing it for yourself, it's kind of like, so much resistance. And why is that? Obviously, and there's so many sayings about this too, like fortune favors the bold. I say so many and I only know one. I don't know, guys. I've been going out every single day. I walked so much yesterday in the rain. No umbrella because I forgot to bring one, even though I put it on my list and I was like, oh, I don't need it. Jeez. But tonight I'm going to the Knockdown Center. I performed there last year, but this year I'm just gonna go as a patron. It's gonna be so much fun. And I'm just gonna hang out. I'm gonna go from 7 to 10. 7 to 10:30. Then I'm going to get the transit back to Manhattan. I'm gonna sleep for a little bit, and then I'm gonna wake up at 4:30, get ready, and then get a 7:30 a.m. flight back to Florida. Because that night, same day that I'm flying out, I have a gig. So it's gonna be wild. And that's the thing, like even though I live at home, I'm doing all this traveling like I did all my life, like all my young 20s and 20s on. Just like going around, chasing around town. So it doesn't make sense for me to have rent. But in the times that I'm not traveling around, which comes and goes, it'll be nice to come home alone and feel like an adult and like have my own space to come back to. It can happen. If it happens for other people, and it does all the time, and that's the thing too, like in New York, you can't escape it. You can't escape seeing people live. A lot of people live in these apartment complexes. It's not just one or two people, two people in your circle that you know that are making it. A lot of people are making it. It is possible. The opportunities are out there. There is literally no excuse. And I gotta tell you what, if you need your eyes opened in this way, because, you know, coming from a small town or a town that is car-centric, so it's easy to isolate yourself, you're missing out on seeing the reality. You just see what's on your screen and what's around town, which is, you know, could be more lower income people, which I don't see that in a derogatory way. I'm just saying, like, if that's all you see and that's all you know, that's all you think that can happen to you. When you see the other opportunities out there, it's like, wow, why not me? And it really does light a fire underneath yourself. I feel like I could do anything here. Not like be Superman or, you know, cure cancer, but like I feel like my work will be rewarded whatever I do. And when I go back home to Fort Myers, I feel like the work I do just kind of just becomes work I do. And it stays that way. It doesn't really, but it's just, you know, we are emotional creatures as humans. You know, we make a lot of decisions based on emotions, whether people like to admit it or not. And you can really feel it here. There's a certain type of electricity. And listen, I used to hate New York. I used to hate it. I hated it because I was so negative about, or just like realistic in the sense, about the money situation. And I came from, you know, being, mom and dad were taking care of everything, which thank you, when I was in college. And I was on my own after I graduated, and being hit with the reality of rent, bills, food, upkeep and whatever, I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Spiraling also because I lost my community. What do I do? And now that I know who I am, I'm sure of myself, I know what I want to do, I know I do it well, I know I have people in my life, my community, that I can fall back on, and I know where I'm going, New York would be much more enjoyable. It would be much more fun to spend time here. Oh, the wind is blowing again. It's so beautiful to see the big leaves in the wind. As someone from Florida who's used to palm tree and very stickly leaves. Anyways, guys, I'm going to rest a little bit because I'm tired and we're gonna have a long night tonight, but that's the update. Let me know how you're doing also with your living at home journey, and I'll see you next week. Bye.